Hello, welcome to Pauper Guru with your host, Matthew Starr. Today we have another deck tech. Azorius Guildmage. It's a 2-2 for blue or white, either way to pay it. It has pay 2 and a white to tap target creature. Pay a blue and 2 of anything. Counter target activated ability, as long as it's not a mana ability. What that means is if someone plays something like sleep paralysis, this would negate the ability of tapping down the creature. The enchantment would still occur, but the effect of tapping down would no longer occur. So that being said, this commander likes to play very political, playing different things that allows you to control the board until you need to do something, and you can help most people in the scenarios. We're going to go through a few different categories. We're going to start off with some ramp in this deck, because this deck is kind of hungry on mana to use the effects a lot. Field Mist Border Post. It costs for 3, but you can pay 1 and return a land you control to your hand to play this. It comes to play tapped. It taps for blue and white mana. Nahiri Hidden Cove. Whenever it's not your turn, instant spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Star Compass. It's battlefield tapped, but taps for 1 mana of any color that one of your lands can produce. Opaline Unicorn taps for 1 mana of any color. Seer's Lantern taps for colorless mana, but you can pay 2 and tap it and scry 1. Hedron Crawler taps for 1 colorless mana, and Azorius Locket taps for blue or white, and you can pay 4 and tap and sacrifice it to draw a card. Now on to the draw of the deck. Divination, draw 2 cards. Tome Raider and Skyskin Seer is the same creature. They both enter the battlefield for 3 mana and draw a card. They both have flying. Stream of Unconsciousness. Target creature gets -0, -4/-0 until end of turn. If you control a wizard, which the commander is a wizard, you get to draw a card. And Sphinx's Insight. Draw 2 cards. It has addendum. If you play this during your turn, you get to gain 2 life on top of it, of drawing 2 cards. Now on to the enchantments of the deck. Most of these enchantments will shut down creatures when they're played. Retribution. Enchanted creature becomes a 0/1 and loses all abilities. Water Knot. Enchant creature for 3 mana. Tap that enchanted creature to get to untap. Chant of Skurfang. Enchanted creature gets -13, -0. Law Mage's Binding. Flash. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature doesn't get to attack or block or activate abilities. Arrest. Enchant creature can't attack or block or activate abilities. Pacifism. Enchant creature can't attack or block. Piece of Plume. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature doesn't get to untap during its controller's next untap step. But it also has forecast for a white and a blue. You can reveal this card from your hand to tap a creature down. You can reveal it once per turn, so you can do it during your turn and each of your opponent's turns in the pod. And Defang. Enchanted creature has prevent all damage that creature would deal. Now on to some of the creatures in the deck that actually can tap down your opponent's stuff. And this doesn't just tap down creatures with this stuff. This can tap down lands and other various stuff in the game. Just like this one. Gulf Squid enters the battlefield and taps all lands target player controls. Frost Lynx and Core Hookmaster is the same creature. One's blue and one's white. They both tap down a creature. They don't get to untap during the controller's next untap step. Chillbringer is a 3/3 with flying with the exact same ability as Frost Lynx. Labyrinth Minotaur is a 1/4 for 3 that whenever it becomes blocks, I get to tap that creature it doesn't get to untap during its controller's next untap step. Queen of Ice, it has Adventure. I can pay 2 and exile this and put it on an Adventure to have it tap. Target creature that gets untap during its controller's next untap step. And if you cast it as a creature, whenever Queen of Ice deals combat damage to a player, tap target creature that player controls doesn't get to untap during its controller's next untap step. I'm sorry, that was a mouthful, but basically, you can cast as a sorcery, tap a creature, pay its casting costs while it's on an adventure to play it out, deal damage, and tap down more creatures. That's the shortened version of all that. Moonlit Scavengers, whenever it enters the battlefield, if I control an artifact or enchantment, I get to return a creature to its owner's hand. Leon Snare Catcher, enters the battlefield, tap target creature. Stirrant Constable, I can tap it, discard a card, and tap target creature. Master of Diversions, whenever it attacks, I tap target creature. Okay. The tapping of creatures and stuff is not even done yet. There's still more. Now on to the instant sorceries that tap down creatures. Downpour, for 2 mana, tap 3 target creatures. Feel the Dread, tap down 2 target creature and has a flashback, cast 2 to play, white and a colorless, and a blue and a colorless to play its flashback, and it taps down 2 target creatures. Choking Tendrils, for 4 mana, tap 4 creatures, or you can cycle it to have it tap 1 creature for cycling it for 2. Will of Naga, you may delve. It has Delve, it casts for 6, but you can delve it down to 2 blue mana by exiling 4 cards from your graveyard to tap 2 target creatures. They don't get to untap during your controller's next untap step. Sleep of the Dead, for a sorcery, it taps target creature to get to untap, and it has Escape. You may pay 3 and exile 3 cards from your graveyard to play it back from your graveyard. So, the more cards that hit your graveyard throughout the game, the more times you can trigger that over and over and over. So, you can probably get it 3, 4, 5 times on average in the game. So, there's a lot of value in a card like that. Now on to the actual removal of this deck. Not just tapping down, but actually getting it off the board. Dramatic Rescue, return target creature to its owner's hand for a blue and a white, and you gain 2 life. Fragmentize, destroy target artifact or enchantment with converted mana cost 4 or less. Overrule, for a blue, white, and X. Counter target spell controller pays X, and you gain X life. Summary Judgment, destroy target, deal 3 damage target tapped creature. It has addendum if you play it during your turn. It deals 5 damage target tapped creature. Sheer Drop, destroy target tapped creature. And it has Awaken. It can 3 for 6 mana. If you pay the Awaken cost, you are able to put 3/1 counters on a creature on one of your lands, making it a 3/3 creature. Sure, as well. Convoke, counter target spell less controller pays 4. Negate, counter target non-creature spell. Triumphant Surge, destroy target creature power 4 or greater, and you gain 3 life. Rewind, counter target spell, untap 4 lands you control. Devoted Witness, pay 2, tap it, discard a card, destroy target artifact or enchantment. It's continuous removal. Now on to the trifecta of blue creatures that all return instant sorceries. Archaeomancer, Nevisic Wall, and Salvager of Secrets. They all say enter the battlefield and return an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. So all those pieces of removal, you can get them back and keep playing. I have ran a side win condition. I very rarely ever get to beat someone with it, but I run 2 creatures with Infect. Tide Strikes, it's a 2/1 flyer with Infect for 4, and Phyrexian Digester is a 2/1 colorless artifact with Infect. Very, very rarely do I ever get to win with Infect with this deck. Now on to some equipments in this deck. Because a lot of these creatures need to come in and swing when I need them to. So, Fleet Feather Sandals, 2 mana to play, 2 to equip. Equipped creature has flying and haste. Strider Harness, 3 to play, 1 to equip. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 in haste. Slagworm Armor, 1 to play, 3 to equip. Equipped creature gets +0/+6 and now on to ways to protect some of the creatures and stuff in this deck. Shelter, for 2 mana, target creature gains protection from a color of your choosing until end of turn and you draw a card. Deploy, Deputy of Equity. It has flash. When it enters the battlefield, return a creature you control to your owner's hand. So, if your opponent targets one of your stuff with it, you can flash it in and bounce one of your creatures back to save it from removal. Adamant Will, 2 mana, target creature gains indestructible until end of turn and +2/+2. And Moment of Heroism, target creature gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink. Now on to an actual combo of this deck. This is an old combo that couple of my dear friends and me have came up with a few years ago. And when this is played, it is annoying and it just about shuts down all combat. The first piece of it is Palace Guard. For 3 mana, it's a 1/4. It can block any number of creatures. Now, Ghostly Prison. 3 mana, enchant creature. Enchanted creature has flying and prevent all damage that will be dealt to and by enchanted creature. So what's going to happen is now Palace Guard is enchanted with Ghostly Possession. Your opponent swing in with 10 creatures. You block all of them with Palace Guard and nothing happens. The only way that this really gets by is if they have Shadow or Unblockable. But there's also answers to that as well in the deck, as you've clearly seen. Now, as for the mana basis, it's quite simple. 18 islands, 12 plains, Tranquil Cove, Manning River, and Azorius Guildmage. They all tap for blue or white. Tranquil Cove gives me you 1 life. Evolving Wilds and Ash Baron. I was going to put in Terramorphic, but it actually came out better to put the land into my hand and get a good draw out of it. So, that is the Azorius Guildmage deck. I hope y'all like, share, and subscribe, and thank you.